use judgment and other factors, and like you said, mentors to help us see what's happening.
So it's so important to look at the whole picture then of this past year and really write down things that were encouraging to you, things that were discouraging to you, because you have to know where you are starting from before we can move and explode, as you say, into 2017. And I came across a quote that I want to share, and many of us our age know who this individual is. If you're an avid sport fan, or especially in tennis, you probably know who Arthur Ashe is. But he had a quote that says, "Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can." It's powerful.
No, it is extremely powerful. But the wisdom that goes into that statement, to me, is even more powerful. You know, he's saying he didn't become a superstar, amazing tennis athlete, winning all the accolades and awards that he did. But he took it one day at a time, one step at a time, one swing at a time. And I think that's where in the early years was really intense and really wanted to get the job done, because in my mind I can see the next thing that's happening. I can understand the next thing that's happening and what's going on in my business life and putting all that together. But I guess the landmine that sits in the middle of all that is not finishing what you're doing right now and then trying to take that next step too fast.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. Well, as we move forward with this insightful conversation, again, I recommend our listeners grab a pen and paper and just take some notes, but we definitely encourage you to do some of the activities that we are going to share with you today. And the first item that I'd like you to think about is 1 year from now. Where do you see yourself? And you could put the date December 31st, 2017. Where do you see yourself in 1 year from now? And don't think, well, I don't know if I want to say don't think this way, but again, if you think a year back when we started 2016, are you thinking a year from now you may wish you had started today? Did you not start anything at the beginning of 2016 that you really had any plan or dream or wish or anything? I mean, don't be that way. Really determine that you're going to make next year different.
And you have to commit to it.
Oh, yes.
That's
hard.
You have to commit to it. Success or failure, either way you go, it's a commitment. If you don't make your goals, then you made a commitment that you weren't going to do what it takes to get ahead for you and your family. So I'm not saying just because you make that commitment on that it's going to go, but you're in control of it once you do. So many of us start off with, well, if everything works right, I wish I could get that promotion. I wish I could go on that cruise. I wish I could find that perfect friend. So we have all of this that's around us, but what does an I wish statement do? It's a wish. It's a dream.
Is it a dream or just a wish?
Well, in my vernacular, I kind of mix them together, even though technically they're not. Your dream is where you're kind of subconsciously looking at what's there, and it's actually part of the process of building a plan. You've got to get it going, but it does begin with a wish. But a lot of times it gets messed up because people try to define the wish in the middle of it.
Yeah, because I don't look at a wish as a vision or a dream. I kind of look, if you wish to achieve your wish, so to speak, you must take that wish from a thought to something tangible.
Absolutely so.
So you can what?
So you can emotionally look at it. You can read it. You have a way of looking at it, seeing it. And once you get there, then you put it on your computer screen. You put it on the bathroom. Post-it notes, all these things that are available to us out there, all for top-of-mind awareness. But when I say put it everywhere, put it everywhere.
So you have to write it down. I find, typing on a computer screen or just having that dream, that thought in my head doesn't really impact me as much as if I actually take a pen or pencil and paper and started writing it down. So one of the processes I know I go through when I start thinking about where I want to be a year from now, I get out a notebook because sometimes it takes more than one sheet of paper and I just start writing what I dream, and I dream big.
Yes, you do.
And I just start writing it down on paper. But there's some key elements that we really have to focus on when we're writing.
Well, when you're writing it down, it has to be unique to you. It has to motivate you. So the recommendation is you need to have I am statements or I have statements. I want to have that better job. I am a better person. I am serving my community.
Exactly. Not I want to or I wish to. I have. I am. Because what you're doing when you use words like that, you're there. You have it. So when you're reading it, it's as if it is already so. That's the best way to write down a dream, as if it is already so. Because then when you keep it in front of you and you keep reading it and you look at it, you're seeing it. You've changed that thought in your mind, not that you wish for it or you hope for it, that you want to achieve it. You have already done so.
The mind is a computer, a very intricate, fancy computer. And like all computers, you have to program it. Mm-hmm. You have to program your computer. Now, the working part of your computer in your mind is your subconscious. It never sleeps. It never rests. It never takes a break. It's always there. It's always trying to connect things together for you. It's trying to take those routines every day that we go through and taking care of our home and taking care of our lives and taking care of our business. And it builds shortcuts for us so that we can not really have to think about it, but we just kind of jump to it and putting that process out there. So yes, if you're wishing, if you're dreaming, it's okay, but it's really not going to get you anywhere really fast. You have to go to that commitment process. And when I say read it 25, 50, 100 times a day, because that's how you get it into your subconscious, the repetition. It's like Arthur Ashe practicing his swing.
Precisely. In fact, amazing things happen when you write, as we were just sharing, when you write it down. It actually makes it become more present, more aware. And guess what? You connect with your true self when you've actually taken that dream and written it down on paper, again, as if it has already happened. Because as you read it throughout the year, and we're going to share some other processes that you can take and do with that dream so that you're visually seeing it, not just reading it. But what happens is you start believing it. because you're feeling it. And you, hopefully, I know it's happened to me. All of a sudden, I wake up one day and I've already achieved it because I believed it. I'd written it down as if it had already happened. It didn't happen at the end of the year. Certain things happen
along the way. And that's what I'm saying when I'm talking about your subconscious, because your subconscious controls your mindset. Mm-hmm. Okay? So incrementally, you were doing little things. Your subconscious had enough of you saying, I wish. Now you're going, I want. So, she really wants this now. So we got to figure out a way to make this happen, subconscious. So we start incrementally doing things. You know, we wanted, how long did we want a radio show before we had a radio show?
The day that I woke up and I said, Richard, we have a radio show. That radio show's name is So Social Radio Show. The premise of the radio show is demystifying social media and marketing and providing business tips and techniques to our listeners. And that afternoon we had the show. When I said
any
we
of that
had
stuff was set up?
I manifested it. There's no doubt in my mind. When I said I had it within 24 hours.
And you're absolutely correct. That is the way it happened. That's absolutely the way it happened.
We'd been talking about it. We'd been thinking about it. But I started writing down on paper the guests that I was interviewing. I started writing it down and seeing it. And the more I saw it, the more I believed that I could do this, that we could do this.
Yeah. And the offer came to you. You didn't come to the offer.
That's right. So I believe this, and I love sharing this. I have little...
You have goosies.
Goosies, yes. I have goosies right now because I do believe it, and I know it happens. But understand, in your big, bodacious dream that you're writing down and you're believing it because you are writing it as it is so, it has happened, that at the end of 2017, I am whatever that desire is. I have whatever that desire is. You're living it throughout the whole year. But not all the little components or elements will happen, but other things will take place in it and lead you to even maybe bigger and better things. Yeah, who knows?
You know, it takes, we as humans want it yesterday, you know?
Yeah.
But sometimes the universe takes time to pull together the pieces and parts you need to be successful, because the universe isn't going to do anything that's going to mess over you. It tries to pull it together in the best way it can. And when you start looking at it from that standpoint, you know, the I wish is manifested to a dream that's being transmitted to the universe. And the universe is bringing the pieces and parts and everything else together. Now, obviously, can be a really fast process. It can be a really slow process. That's where it takes patience. That's where it's going to try your intentionality. You know, we just got to forget about it. You know, let's figure out something else to do.
And that brings me to another point, because you and I can share our dreams together and know neither one of us is going to belittle the dream or say, there's no way, Cheri, you're going to accomplish that. You're dreaming too big. Nobody can ever, you know, what gives you the right to even think that could happen, or me do that to you? But you do need to share it with everyone, because the more you share that dream, the more it is, again, visible. But there are going to be some individuals out there that are going to belittle your dream and tell you in those words, it'll never happen. Where do you come off dreaming like that?
There are always those doubting Thomases.
So, forget about them. What they think is their issue, not yours. Understand that. What anyone thinks about you or your dreams does not matter. It's none of your business. It's their issue, their business. I don't worry about it. The more I think and we were talking about actually taking that